Why would you engage with a fascist? Every single one of their talking points has already been debunked. We don't need to debate fascists on why they're wrong. That should be the fundamental thing in any kind of content like this. We don't have to debate fascists. Everybody agrees broadly that fascism is bad. Dave Rubin, Steve Crowder, they all got their money from oil think tanks, the Koch brothers. All of that was exposed like 10 years ago or so. The paradox of intolerance, right? If we tolerate Nazis, then their intolerance becomes normal. Right, okay, chat, here we go. We're strapping into this. It's the Mehdi Hasan Jubilee debate, where he debates 20 far-right conservatives. Already, I hate the framing of this content, the name of it, versus 20 far-right conservatives, when it is completely well within everybody's understanding that a lot of these guys are straight-up fascists. Here's the thing. Fraser is saying why, with a couple of whys, why this is bad, why debate is bad, why it's a waste of time, and why we should just be going outside and organizing. Why does Jubilee exist, and why does anyone somewhat reasonable want to participate in their theater? Mehdi Hasan is a media personality. He is invested in being, this video's got 2.5 million views. He's going to get a certain amount of clout from that. He's going to get a certain amount of social capital from that. He's already got a bunch of social capital. He's capitalizing on that. It's going to give him more opportunities to be on different shows. Maybe he thinks it's some way for him to get his opinion out there. Most people in my audience, we know because of our analysis of debate perverts in the past, which very early on, a lot of us were saying, this is not the right way to try and fight fascism, where you platform a bunch of fascists and go, well, actually, all your talking points are wrong, because all it really does is embolden fascists. It gives them more airtime, and that's it. Apparently, he went on after Sam Seder said he should. Who knows? I mean, I know that Sam Seder went on here, right? They did this awful one as well with this paid Zionist guy, this Palestinian who has been essentially tortured and convinced to say things on behalf of Israel for money. A doctor versus 20 anti-vaxxers. Obese versus anorexic is crazy. Obese versus anorexic is a fucking insane one. Jubilee is fucked. Has anyone done any kind of research into this company and figured out why they are so bad? Like, why did they do this? Who is not a child? What? Yeah, of course they get so many views. That's what it is. One progressive versus, there it is. One progressive versus 20 MAGA. I mean, that's basically the same, right? I mean, I don't know. Most of these MAGA guys will know that Sam Seder is Jewish. Most of them. Maybe not all of them. So, I don't know how dangerous that is for Sam particularly. But also, Mehdi Hasan is visibly brown. He's visibly racialized and is going to be sat there being like threatened. And I know that happens in this. He gets threatened by one guy, says go back to where you came from, which is Britain, by the way. He's British. I do know that there's some hilarious stuff in here. I have seen clips of it. This one guy in particular is about to argue that he is a Native American because his family colonized America. Real Zionist hours.
My family lineage is settlers from the 1500s.
And by the way, as far as I know, Mehdi Hasan does a lot of good retorts in this video. Watching the Majority Report do its coverage earlier, Sam admits that this was some beyond the pale shit. Yeah, it's good he admits that.
I am Native American. Whites are Native Americans. What are you talking about?
You're not.
What are you talking about?
You're a little bit more than a far-right Republican.
Hey, what can I say?
I think you could say I'm a fascist.
Yeah, I am.
We're at the stage now. I've said for a long time, right? The far right, especially in America, is afraid of saying that they are what they are. They're cowards, right? They're cowards. They will never be like, oh, I'm a fascist. I agree with Hitler. Leftists, on the other hand, are always never afraid to say things like, I'm a communist, or I'm an anarchist, I'm an environmentalist, because these things are based in a love of your fellow human being. However, this wet willy is there being like, I'm a fascist. This is the red line. It has to stop now. It has to stop. They cannot feel this comfortable. Like, Jubilee has enabled this guy, they've made this guy feel comfortable to say in front of millions of people that he's a fascist, and he's happy about it. He's not afraid. He should be uncomfortable saying this. He should be embarrassed. This video proves what conservatives would say if they truly felt no shame, and content like this has enabled conservatives to not feel shame, right? That's what we're seeing in real time.
Listen to me. I am an immigrant. I'm speaking from personal experience.
Get the hell out.
I don't even like... I should get the hell out.
Yes.
Why?
I don't want you here.
Also, notice how they're all like 18, 19 years old. I'm not saying that Jubilee is bad or wrong or whatever, for getting kids on the show or young people or whatever. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is it's insane that these young people are so emboldened. It's like Hitler youth shit. Like, no offense to anyone who's got acne. I suffered with acne a lot when I was a kid, but they really tried like to do a lot of work on this kid.
January 6th is a very special case. I would say it's almost a climax point in history.
These are young kids who have been obviously radicalized in one way or the other, maybe by their parents, maybe by popular content like this online. And when January the 6th happened, they might have been, when was that? 2021? They were 14, 15, something like that.
There's a man named Daniel Rodriguez. He got 12 years in prison for taking a stun gun and tasing a police officer in the neck and giving him a heart attack.
Like, this kid is probably right now going like, yeah, all of this could be true. But what I'm really trying to do is think about how I can dodge this question and just be like, nah, but I just hate anyone who's not white.
One example that you just gave me.
I can give you more. Just should I keep going?
Fine. And I'll say the exact same thing every single time.
Then your argument will fall apart because it's not just one example if I keep going.
So you can see here the tactic is, and it's actually, it's quite impressive that this kid knows that this is what you do, but it's probably because he has watched other debate content. Vosh still exists. Destiny still exists. All of these debate perverts are still around making content. They've done debates with fascists. They have them on their channel. And so fascists have learned that you don't actually engage in logical stuff when you're doing a debate. All you do is you gish gallop and you go, oh, I don't care actually. I'm not bothered about that. I'll say the same thing. You can give me more examples. I'll just say the same thing. And then when Mehdi says, your argument will fall apart then. And so he says, all right, yeah, go on. Keep listing them. The reason that he's doing that is it's a time-wasting technique. He's going to exhaust his opponent and in the end, just be like, yeah, well, I don't care about any of that. I think that it's fine that those guys attack those cops because I'm a fascist.
How do pardons that probably shouldn't have happened turn into pro-crime?
So you've agreed that they shouldn't have been pardoned?
Sure, but that wasn't your claim, was January 6th. Your claim was Trump is pro-crime.
Yeah. Again, it's twisting the narrative. It's turning things round. It's the Sartre anti-Semite quote. I referenced this in my video about debate perverts. The anti-Semite may seem like he's completely insane, but it's not his motive to try and engage in logic and facts. It's just to say the most disgusting, horrible, nightmare opinions of all time to make you uncomfortable and waste your time. And in the end, they'll be sat there going, ha ha ha, so triggered. And that's why everyone's laughing, by the way. You see everybody laughing in the background, and it is very easy to immediately just be angry and get mad at that. And, I'm not going to say that no one should feel that way whatsoever. However, the reason that everyone is laughing is because they understand it's a fruitless thing. It's just a joke to them. And it's underpinned by something that I said last week. A lot of the times when fascists are behaving the way that they do, it's because they are desperately trying to not care, or they're desperately trying to tell you to not care. They've decided that they're not gonna care, and whenever they see a leftist or someone who is pro-human, who is pro-civil rights in any endeavor, pro-civil rights, pro-workers' rights, whatever you want to call it, they are reminded of the fact that they do not care, and that upsets them really on a deep level, on a subconscious level. That's why they have to violently be like, no, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Because you have to fight and fight and fight and fight that human instinct to give a shit about your fellow human in order to be a fascist. And that's why you get things like this guy. He's got this face on him. Look at this face that he's doing. He's doing this like... It's like an insulting face. He is pulling a face that implies that he is feeling frivolous about the very nature of him being here. That's what he's doing. He's trying to signal it's silly to care about this stuff.
Mehdi.
You're from northern UK, I guess?
I'm from London, North London.
Okay, fair enough. What's your ethnic background, if you don't mind my asking?
My parents are from India.
Okay, perfect. Just getting premise here.
Perfect. Just getting premise here. No, he isn't. He is signaling his racism. He's like, I know you're not white. You know I know that you're not white. Qualifying is dehumanization, exactly. He is racially profiling a person in real time.
The premise of Donald Trump being pro-crime.
No. I want to concern myself with why you care about what's happening in the US.
See that word in chat? Why do you care? I want everybody to think very hard about that because I swear to God, it's really pertinent. You will find it is in their language often. Why do you care? Why do you care? Why are you so concerned? How does it affect you? Why don't you just enjoy your life? Why don't you just enjoy capitalism? Why don't you just relax? It's all going to end anyway. Who cares? We're at the end of history.
People who live in the US not care about...
Let's not interrupt each other. Because I have this thing, people know I have this thing. I have to stay calm, okay? So
Okay.
People know I have this thing. I have to stay calm. Do these guys seem like they're enjoying life? Well, that's the hypocrisy of it all. That's the irony, that none of them are actually enjoying their life. This is the way that they deal with what's going on. It's a messed up kind of, it's hard to describe. It's a messed up ignorance. Declaring himself unstable is a subtle threat. Yeah, absolutely. Don't make me mad. You wouldn't like me when I'm mad. 2 seconds into fascist debate and chill, and he pulls this face. What do you do?
I am Native American. Whites are Native Americans. What are you talking about?
You're not.
Again, this is entirely the point. There is no logic to be found, even remotely. He's not interested in logic. None of them are interested in logic. The argument is the same as Zionist narratives. We're literally native to the Middle East. That's why I get to bomb this guy's family, right? The guy is unraveling and the audience is impressed. Exactly, because they don't care about any of that. They don't care about making sense. As a Native American, I would slap him, and I wouldn't blame you, because it's the height of genocide denial. It's similar in a way to how Zionists refer to the land of so-called Israel, which is, as we all know, Palestine. They're like, no, there's no such thing as Palestinians. There's no such thing as Palestine. That is the rhetoric of a colonial settler.
I don't mind going on a tangent, but what was happening before the 1500s?
Calm down. I think you're getting...
What was happening before the 1500s?
There was indigenous people here that came here from Asia.
Do you know what indigenous means?
So he goes straight in to the land bridge conspiracy, which is not true. It has overwhelmingly been proved by so many anthropologists to be completely false. Like, it does not matter. What matters, generally speaking, when we talk about these things is the fact that there were a peaceful people there who were killed, displaced, genocided, and another culture erased that culture and created a fake, fucked up culture that is an insult a lot of the time to the indigenous culture.
Right now, you're doing a very bad job of making the case that he's not pro-crime.
I just got a round of applause. I could probably get another one, actually, if I asked for it.
Wow.
So.
It's happening right now. They are just cheering on chaos. Nonsense chaos. The cruelty is the point.
You sit in a room with 20 people who agree with you. Wow, amazing. Amazing. That must make you feel good.
Mehdi Hasan here is talking about the soy right. You'll see this phenomenon nowadays because Elon Musk's Twitter is essentially an echo chamber of right-wingers and fascists, some of the worst fascists imaginable. On Twitter, there are right-wingers sucking each other off all the time. It's embarrassing because they don't know it's a circle jerk. A circle jerk is fine if everybody knows what's going on and everyone's agreed to it. It's a fun time. You should try it, right? But when you don't know what's going on, it's embarrassing, especially if we're applying the phrase circle jerk to people just agreeing with each other and it becoming an echo chamber, basically. Everything that they accused us of back in the day, you lefties live in an echo chamber, despite the fact that we have our opinions because we are exposed to the opinions of people that we disagree with all the time. It's in power in society. We cannot escape it. The soy right is what this is. It's right-wingers who are offended every single time they come across a leftist opinion, and they need each other to just like cheer each other on. Like, yeah.
My claim is that I don't care if it's pro-crime. You want to go back to the topic of conversation?
That's fine. We agree then. He's pro-crime and you don't care.
Question
you think the LAPD are a bunch of liberal Marxists?
No, but I think they listen to liberal Marxists who tell them what to do.
Who is the liberal Marxists that is directing the LAPD? Is he talking about Karen Bass, who regularly posts on her Instagram the difference of homeless people not being on the street anymore in front of a public monument or something? Like, she does that often. Karen Bass is like, look how nice LA looks now without all those homeless people in it. It's great that I told our police to just destroy those tents and get rid of them. Sure, man. Karen Bass, for example, right, is a liberal. She's a liberal who is the mayor of a city. Gavin Newsom is also a liberal who is the governor of California. It is a liberal state. It's not a leftist state by any stretch of the imagination. It is a neoliberal state, yeah? There are certainly left-wing policies that have been fought for by grassroots organizations in California, like, for example, making it a sanctuary state for immigrants, okay? And when we think of the liberal left, they also have the same attitude towards care and seeing people who want to care for people with disgust. It's just less violent. It is violent in one way. It's less violent than fascists, but it's still violent. Yeah, neoliberalism is a conservative ideology. The Democrats are not left-wing. They are conservatives. And obviously, some people might be like, oh, well, that doesn't make sense because why would they have a sanctuary state? Again, this is from popular political pressure, popular grassroots pressure. NGOs that support immigrants, organizations that support immigrants. You will often find that liberals will respond in the way that is similar to fascists. It's like, it's not feasible. It's making excuses for why you can't have more progressive politics. We can't have more progressive politics because it just doesn't work. Look at the way that the Democrats are now talking about Zohran Mamdani, yeah? It's just not possible. We can't do that. We can't have free buses in New York. It's not possible. It is possible. It's completely possible. But it would mean that those Democrats who've been in power for such a long time, they've grown comfortable with the extremely high wages, the extremely comfortable position that they're in, the amount of money that they take from lobbying groups, it would all disappear overnight, and the people who surround them might turn on them. If they want care, it's all on their terms in the way that makes them feel good, Christian charities, etc. Exactly. It would mean that they would have to face the fact that they have not cared in the right way for a long time. It makes them feel like shit when they see someone like Zohran Mamdani, who, by the way, is a moderate leftist. You know, I'm not going to sit here and be like an armchair tanky and be like, yell about Zoran and how he's a liberal Zionist and all this for years and years and years. If that's what you think, just go outside and organize. Just tell people to go outside and organize, because that's the only way that anyone is going to get any change in this world. You can't just rely on electoral politics. If it winds you up that much, stop thinking about it and go outside and organize. Honestly, the right way to look at this is, as I say, in the way that liberals respond to progressives. And this guy is doing an extreme version of that. He is saying these people they're liberal Marxists and they love immigrants. They give immigrants all the jobs. They punch white people in the face. They make white veterans homeless. And it is all just an excuse so that they don't have to engage their brain and think too deeply about things that would make them care for their fellow human, because they would have to go, shit, I've been a terrible person my entire life. And a lot of people don't want to do that.
We both agree Donald Trump's pro-crime. You're just fine with it.
No,
is that the position?
I don't.
That's what you said so far for about 5 minutes.
I don't agree with your definition.
What's your definition of crime?
It doesn't
Stomping
matter.
on a police officer's head is not a crime.
I don't accept the authority that's been given by liberal
conservative position. I thought the conservative are pro-police.
Then you don't know what a real. Hey, listen,
so
you're in a room with juggernauts right now. Okay.
You know, Jubilee is an evil YouTube channel that should be destroyed, but it's extremely funny. Whoever edited this, when this guy said, "You're in a room full of juggernauts," and just panned to this guy in particular. Oh my God. That's where the parallel of Christian forgiveness and non-accountable admissions and mistakes. I would like to be forgiven and just have the past forgotten about. Right, exactly. You do one pray and all of your transgressions are forgiven and sorted, yeah? You just pray to Jesus and everything is fine.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Hey.
Okay, I've not seen anything from this guy. There is an overwhelming amount of nerds in this room. I've said it before and I'll say it again. These kids think that they're going to be spared. Are you kidding me, bro? I know, yeah, the nice to meet you shit is just so... Why is he doing that? Say all the worst things to this person and then, yeah, it's fine. He's a good guy. What are you talking about, man? What do you mean?
So in California, for example, the state legislature, completely progressive, just passed a law that limits sex offender registration to 10 years. It was life before. That's pro-crime.
If we're going to talk about sex offenders, if we're going to talk about people who engage in sexual sex crimes, stuff like this. Why do sex crimes happen? Because the patriarchy exists. Men are told that they're more powerful than women. White men are told that they're more powerful than black people, children, etc., 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 that they have more of a right. This is why this stuff happens. If we look at any kind of criminal analysis, that's why these things happen. Circumventing all of that. The fascist is just like, this is just a thing that happens. But liberals are saying that we should be soft on those guys. If you're gonna talk about so-called crime, again, as an abolitionist, crime is an interesting subject. It's interesting that people are criminalized in certain ways and some people aren't. You know, there's a whole discussion to have about that. It's a huge topic, right? And if you want to talk about how we actually prevent crime, it's certainly not things like prisons. It's certainly not things like cops. It's about changing the way that people think. It's about community education. And the only way that you get that is through community education programs where you teach kids very early on that f***ing someone, it's in the same vein as murder or cannibalism, right? And that's how you stigmatize it. You need to stigmatize it socially.
Yeah, I think he's pro-crime and pro-criminal.
So you think
and I
he's
think he's
pro-crime
soft
for
on
having a
sex
friend who's
offenders.
do you have any friends who are criminals?
Not that I know of. Certainly not child sex offenders. No, do you?
If it came, no, of course not.
Okay, so we're both in agreement again.
If
So
it
why are you
came out
defending
tomorrow,
Donald Trump?
if it came out tomorrow,
This guy's entire personality is Ben Shapiro. You can tell straight away. This guy comes home from the my dad gives me a wage factory and spends all day, all evening watching Ben Shapiro videos going, yeah, I agree. Yes, I agree, Ben.
I wouldn't wish someone well, but that's
Donald
your
Trump
gotcha.
did.
That's your gotcha.
It's a pretty
Is
big
it
gotcha.
He wished
Yeah.
a friend
Pretty
well.
big gotcha.
Okay,
He
but
praised
see,
the
what you're
the
really
woman
trying
for
to do
child
right
sex.
now is you're
What
trying to
about
get back
the
to
fact that
Donald
he's-
Trump
what
on a
about the fact
personal
that
level.
Elon
Let's
Musk
talk
says his
policy.
name is
What's his policy?
They're just like talking over each other. It's so tiring. Also, by the way, if you're not understanding the way that Jubilee works, the red flag thing, the little meter that works in the left-hand corner, it's because this guy's little fash friends are putting up a little red flag and they're saying, hey, this guy is not debating good enough. And so I want an opportunity to sit where he's sitting and not listen to this guy in a different way. I want to get up here and be even more disgusting and offensive than this guy. So apparently the CEO of Jubilee is a guy called Jason Y. Lee, and he founded Jubilee as a non-profit company. Lee, disappointed by the division in the United States, sought to create content encouraging political discussions across spectrum. I just got the Wikipedia up. According to its founder, so that's Jason Y. Lee. The purpose of Jubilee's content is to provoke understanding and create human connection across political spectrums. Several prominent figures, including Pete Buttigieg, Ben Shapiro, Density, Charlie Kick, Jorbly Peeps, have appeared in Jubilee's Surrounded series. Statements made in the series are fact-checked by Straight Arrow News. Kendall Cunningham of Vox describes Surrounded series as a satire of what debaters come in the age of Trump. Extremely competitive, theatrical, and unbalanced, literally and emotionally to boot. Yeah, I would say that's true. Jubilee will have murderers versus victims and both sides it. I just think it's like insanely irresponsible. The Surrounded thing is just crazy. Like, you know, if this guy is truly trying to promote the understanding of each other, it's been lost in marketing nightmare shit. Right? If he really did start with this idea of, oh yeah, I want to promote people understanding each other's terrible views, yeah? I want people to understand where these fascists are coming from. Even if I'm giving him a proper charitable read, yeah, that's absolutely what he wants to do. It has been completely absorbed by capitalist, enterprising, in terms of marketing. He wants to get more and more views. This kind of video gets him the most views of all time, gets the platform the most views. We only have to take a look at this. Let's go back to the channel. Since we had a look at this, since we looked at this, it's gone up by 200,000 views. We've been reacting to this for about an hour, and you can see that these are similar ones. They've got similar kinds of views. Jordan Peterson versus 20 atheists, even though this was extremely funny. Sam Sader versus the Trump supporters. I mean, this is kind of the same thing, but this one is definitely a bit more irresponsible. The Candace Owens versus 20 feminists 3 weeks ago. That's another similar one. All the other kind of content where there's less people having a go. 7 plastic surgery versus 1 secret natural, odd one out. That's 500,000 views. 6 Star Wars fans versus 1 secret hater. 651,000 views. Why couldn't they just keep doing this? Why couldn't, I mean, the surgery one is cringe. And the prom queen one is kind of fun. And the Star Wars one is kind of fun. Are they siblings or are they dating? That's messed up for a number of reasons, but it's much better than this. That's got 1.6 million views. Oh, I know why.
I've interviewed these police officers. They've been beaten by people who they've then seen walk off the streets and then carry on threatening them. Yes, when Donald Trump is responsible for that, you're definitely pro-crime.
Okay, I doubt a
All
lot
right,
of the sources,
pause.
but
You doubt
Pause.
police officers who testified to being assaulted?
Again, if you engage in these kind of things, even if you are a progressive, it encourages you to have a take that is like Donald Trump is pro-crime. And it's kind of a moot point, kind of pushed to get into bed with those kinds of ideas because you're you're like, all right, well, I'm debating a room full of fascists. I have to meet them where they're at. But you don't have to meet fascists where they're at. You absolutely don't have to meet fascists where they're at in any way, shape, or form. Even if you were to say, if that guy was to bring up the stuff about California, in California, sex offenders have just been given, loads more time to not be on the register or whatever the fuck it was he said. And you would turn around and say, well, hang on a minute, what is the thing that would prevent sex offenses from happening? Like, why do sex offenses happen? I don't know. Maybe it would be a better debate, because then the fucking fascists would be forced to say something like, oh, well, some people are just gross sex perverts. Then you would have to push that and be like, no, but why do some people do that? And then automatically they would be like, you're a liberal queer and you're a pedophile, right? It wouldn't work anyway. You wouldn't be able to engage in that, which is why these things are such a farce. Like, it's just a farce to debate fascists in any way, shape, or form.
You know who else pardoned a big criminal?
Go on.
Hunter Biden was pardoned by his father.
How did he
They love Hunter Biden. They love it.
Kash Patel literally said that Elon Musk had no access to the Epstein files. So
Kash Patel said that Epstein killed himself. Do you agree with that?
Whatever he says goes then. Yeah, I don't.
You see, these fucking like servile dickheads, they always love to talk about how they are free thinkers, individuals, peasant brain, piece of shit, fucking loser. Okay. This guy absolutely, definitely loves Hitler. Again, I've said it again. Loves Hitler. Hitler would have been like, people like this need to be removed from society. I'm not saying this because he's like a little overweight or whatever. I'm like, it's the way he dresses, it's the way he holds himself. Nerd, loser.
The Constitution is a document that should seek to serve us. Yes. And when it fails to seek to serve us, that can be amended. Laws can be changed.
This is why a liberal's point of view when engaging with this kind of stuff, in being like, yeah, hey, guess what? Actually, what needs to happen is we need to obey the laws and abide by the law. You can't just be like, oh, Trump's an evil, nasty person because he doesn't follow the Constitution or whatever. Trump is such a hypocrite. He says he's tough on crime, but he loves crime. It's just untenable. It's an untenable position, because the real reason that you should be mad at Trump is because he's a hateful piece of shit, fascist, dictator, wannabe king. These liberals love to say, no kings, we don't want kings, we're a republic, yada yada yada, but they're never focusing on that kind of stuff. Yeah, they're never focusing on that actual point of it. Yeah, the liberal sophistry. And this guy's just like, I don't care, I'm not bothered.
You're saying you don't care about the Constitution, but actually you do, because you quite like the Second Amendment.
Some of you in the chat will remember when I watched the quote-unquote conversation that Taylor Lorenz had with libs of TikTok, Chaya Right Chick, and she said so often, you believe in this, well, how do you square this with your belief about this? It doesn't make sense. And it's like, no. It doesn't matter. It does not matter that they have one opinion on one thing and it doesn't logically match up with this, because when they express their support for this one thing and justify it with, you know, a belief in the Constitution. Like, he's trying to say, oh, you believe in the Second Amendment, but you hate the Constitution. That's weird, because the Second Amendment is in the Constitution. No, dude. He's like, I'm glad that there is a piece of law that says that I get to have a gun, because it means I get to shoot people if I want, and that is what I believe. I believe I should be able to shoot whoever the fuck I want. That's all it is. I want to be able to kill immigrants. I want to be able to kill queers. I want to be able to shoot anybody. And it is not through any kind of legal logic. It's like, this thing exists and it serves me and my hateful ideology. I don't care about any other part of it. All that other stuff can go. Free speech, don't care about that. First Amendment, not bothered.
Franco killed a lot of innocent people.
Oh, well, he killed communists. He killed people who raped nuns and killed priests.
What about children who he killed and women who he killed?
Yeah, Mehdi was not bothered about the communists. Again, that's the whole purpose of this kind of thing, right? In how debate serves the right. I've spoken about this in 2 videos. I did 2 videos about debate perverts. There's absolutely something to be said about the debate perverts popularizing this kind of content on YouTube, without a shadow of a doubt, and YouTube benefiting from the fact that far-right narratives are far more popular on platforms like YouTube, because YouTube has enabled far-right narratives. But I've said this before, when you engage as a leftist, and this is why you shouldn't engage, when a leftist engages in a discussion like this with a fascist, there is a unspoken agreement somewhere that you have to like cede ground for some reason. Oftentimes you will not find a leftist actually who is worth their salt engaging in this kind of farce of theatrics. Why would you engage with a fascist? Every single one of their talking points has already been debunked. We don't need to debate fascists on why they're wrong. That should be the fundamental thing in any kind of content like this. We don't have to debate fascists. Everybody agrees broadly that fascism is bad. It's these loud minority of people who are benefiting from the system, benefiting in some way from being a fascist and having far-right talking points. Dave Rubin, Steve Crowder, they all got their money from oil think tanks, the Koch brothers. All of that was exposed like 10 years ago or so. The paradox of intolerance, right? If we tolerate Nazis, then their intolerance becomes normal.